on any given night, I had more international news on, just because I personally find it interesting. But I don't think, I understand, people, there's a lot going on in the United States, and people have lives here which are, which aren't as focused. It's why Americans don't learn as languages the way other countries do, and I don't think that there's anything necessarily wrong with it. I just think it's the way we are, and we tend to focus on those stories which touch the lives of the people we know or our own lives. And as long as the other information is out there and available, I think the people who really want that information seek it out. Yeah, I wish everybody was fascinated by what's going on in Congo, but I know that's not going to happen, and that's okay. I'm not critical of people because of it. To me, I think what's interesting, and what I've always tried to do, especially when I first started, is, I was broadcasting with Channel 1, which is showed in high schools and middle schools, and was big in the South and the Midwest, not so much on the East Coast or West Coast. But it was interesting to try to, bring viewers along, bring some kid in a middle school classroom in Iowa, bring them along on a journey with me to Rwanda. And so when I was in Rwanda, I would be thinking, how do I make this real to somebody sitting in a classroom on the other side of the world who doesn't even know where Rwanda is? If you asked them, probably would say they didn't really care. But what I found is the most popular stories I ended up doing were in places like Rwanda and Sarajevo. And they were stories which, they weren't about the big geopolitical situation and here's an explanation, here's an arcane explanation of Hutus and Tutsis or Bosnians and Croats. And they were very human stories. And in those human stories, you would tell the larger picture about who Hutus were and Tutsis and what was happening there. But they were stories that people could relate to, and I found if you can bring viewers along on the journey, you can make people interested in just about anything, because people do want to know. It's just, there's a lot going on in people's lives, and people are busy, and they don't have time to, the heart is only so big, and the mind is only so big, and you can only focus, people in their day-to-day life can only focus so much time on other things, and so it's, for me as a storyteller, it's how do you, that